this is Kelly Thompson with the Techinator.com and Thompson Computer Services. Doing my first video blog entry on the Techinator.com and the first blog entry of any kind in quite a while, as I'm sure you're aware if you've looked at the dates on some of the other entries on here. One of my New Year's resolutions was to actually be a little more consistent about doing these this whole blog thing, and so I thought I would start out with that. Hopefully this will work out okay. I hope you can hear me. I am currently driving down the road on my way to the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. Thought I would take some of the time and do these videos. May do a few of them on the trip. We'll see how it goes. But we're in a company car and it's got studded snow tires on it, and they kind of are loud, so hopefully you can hear me okay. But anyway, the first subject that I wanted to cover is something that we've seen more and more of here lately, and that is the rogue antivirus and the drive-by download, and those can kind of go together. In fact, they do a lot of times. What those are and how to protect against them, and what to do if you do get infected by one of these malicious attacks. So, a drive-by download, let's start with that. What is it? One of the more recent events that occurred with the whole drive-by download issue is the double-click ad network that I believe Google runs that, but they use ads on Microsoft and Google websites, so legitimate websites. But what happened is a company created a domain called Ad Shuffle with 3 F's in it instead of 2. Ad Shuffle, spelled correctly, is a legitimate advertiser, but with 3 F's, this was a company with less than positive things on their mind for their advertisement. But because it was so similar to a legitimate advertiser, they were able to sneak past anybody who might normally have caught this, and they used an exploit in Flash or Internet Explorer, various different ways to get their malicious software installed. And malicious software, we call that malware. We shorten it down into one word, and malware can include viruses and trojans and spyware, adware, all of those things. If we don't want to have to use a bunch of terms to describe something, we just call it malware for short. But anyway, to get the malware installed, they were using this ad network, and we had kind of been wondering why we had seen more and more infections here lately, and that's probably why, because it was out there for a few days, I believe, at least, and able to anybody that got that ad, and if they didn't have their computer up to date, didn't have Flash up to date, didn't have Internet Explorer up to date, etc., it was vulnerable to this attack, and therefore the malware was installed. So that can happen. That can happen on websites that become infected. It can happen on websites that people put together just for these malicious installs, and certainly that's a problem. And like I say, we're seeing it more and more. One of the more common ways, though, that we see these malicious programs getting installed is by what we call a fake alert. And I will put notes underneath this video on all of this stuff, so if you want to see examples of the fake alert, just scroll down and you can read through the notes and click the links, look at the pictures, etc. But the fake alert basically tricks you into thinking that you have a problem with your computer or a virus when you don't. It can start off as simple as a pop-up on a website, and with that pop-up, while it will say you have an infection, it can even look really close to the Windows Security Center or and particular antivirus programs window, but but it's not. It's just a pop-up on that site that says you have an infection, and then makes a button that looks like it will clean it, but as soon as you click that, it actually downloads a program. Now it may, Internet Explorer or Firefox may pop up some warnings at that point and say, hey, are you sure you want to do this? Or it may not. It may just get around that. But even if it does pop those up, what they've done what's considered social engineering for the 21st century. The con men and con women of years past had to meet you and con you out of things one-on-one in person, and now today they can use the internet, and it's a lot more powerful way for them to get around any other, the obstacle of actually having to meet you first. But the social engineering side of it is that fear that we have that we already have an infection, and that's what they've done. They've played on our fears by telling us, hey, you have an infection, when in fact you don't. And so when you think you do, you're more likely to click, yes, I want to install this program, yes, go ahead, allow this to run, when you really shouldn't do that, because at that point you are installing the virus. So like I said, look below the video and check out some of the examples there. There are a lot more examples that I'm going to have here, and they're changing all the time too. So that's definitely a concern. But the best thing you can do, so how do you protect yourself from this stuff? The best thing you can do, if you get a pop-up like that and it doesn't look familiar to you, just close out of it and potentially even reboot the computer. If you can close and go up to the red X in the far upper right hand corner, close the entire browser. If there's a X on a pop-up window or something, ignore that, because those can be spoofed to do other things. Certainly if you click an X and then it asks you something else, just force it to quit with the Control-Delete in Task Manager. And if you don't know how to do that, call a tech geek person that you know and have them help you through it. Or just click start and restart the computer. You can go into, if you've got any Word documents or anything open that you're working on, save those first, but get the computer rebooted. And then hopefully you're fine. Hopefully at that point nothing installed and everything's going to work the way it should. Your computer's going to be not slowed down or bogged down by malware that's running in the background. You're not going to be getting pop-ups. But if you do still get pop-ups, you're going to have to clean it out. I'll put a link to Malware Bytes in the notes. That's one that I would recommend you search with, and search in safe mode. Again, if you need help with that, you can contact us or a tech person that you know. I would, even if you don't get any pop-ups after you reboot, I would run a software, antivirus software, anti-malware software scan anyway, just to make sure. And then get to know your antivirus software so that you know what it looks like. Although, again, that's not 100% foolproof, because they're spoofing some of those now. McAfee, for example, they make things look like that. Again, they've made things look like the Windows Security Center. Unfortunately, the bad guys are getting better at what they do, which makes it harder on you and me to stay safe online. But in any event, go through the links below, and if you have any problems or issues, certainly let us know. We'll be more than willing to help you out. If you want to comment below with questions or anything that you'd like us to cover on these blogs, that would be great. And just be safe. Be careful what you click on. If something pops up, be careful. Don't just trust everything that's there. Another one we're seeing is one that is a fake alert for your hard drive is failing. And again, it is playing on your fears that you're going to lose all your data, when in fact the hard drive's fine. You just have a rogue program that's not what it's supposed to do. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to blog more consistently. That is the goal for 2011. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video.